guys, and welcome back to a new YouTube video. So as you can see by the title, I am addressing why I transferred to the RMP. So I think it's worth saying before I jump into why I left the Guards or the infantry and went to the RMP, the reason behind why you will see different cap badges on my channel. So when I originally joined the Army Reserves, I joined the Rifles. It was my local unit, obviously infantry unit, and it was after about a year or so that I was there that every company that was aligned in that battalion, which at the time, obviously none of them were Guards, all got aligned to a Guards unit. So the Rifles then became the Coldstream Guards, like London Scots became Scots Guard, and so on. So that choice for me to go to the Coldstream Guards, it wasn't a choice. If I wanted to stay at the company, I just had to transfer over to the Guards and get with it type thing. So I feel like I get a lot of comments from people being like, oh, you've left the Rifles and you've gone to the Coldstream Guards. No, it wasn't a choice. I was at the same company the whole time. We basically just changed customs and changed uniform. But other than that, I was in the same place. It wasn't an active decision. So now we got that out of the way. The RMP, that's actually the only transfer I've made in the army, right? Obviously joined the Rifles, moved into the Coldstream Guards. I was there for about 2 years. And then I decided to go to the RMP. Now you might be asking, why? Why the RMP, but also why did you leave? So they're the questions that I'm going to address. So firstly, the Guards. Obviously I was there for about 2 years, and I will say, straight off the bat, I had a really good time in the Guards. I really enjoyed the experiences that I had. I definitely developed a lot as a soldier, especially in terms of green skills and fieldcraft and going on exercise. Definitely built my confidence from being in that environment, trying new things. But I ultimately knew that it just wasn't for me. Those 2 years taught me, I love the army, but the infantry is like a trade. It ain't for me. And that's just because there's so many layers to it. But firstly, I was pretty much the only woman in my company. And that's not any fault of the company. It's just that in the infantry, you weren't allowed to join as a woman until recent years. So therefore, people going through and having to recruit, it takes time. So when you're sort of one of the first people to do it, you're one of the first women that are there, and then it can be kind of a bit lonely because you're surrounded by loads of men. Obviously the army is very male dominated anyway, but there are a lot of trades where that gender split is a bit more even, and that's kind of what I was looking for. And secondly, I joined the Army Reserves when I was still studying at university. I was doing my masters, and for me it was just to figure out what's the army about? Is it for me? Is it something I want to do as a full-time career? Or is it something I just want to do at the weekends and stay as a reservist? And I realised pretty early on that actually no, I really am toying with the idea of going regular. And if I am going to go regular, I need to get more experience, more exposure, get on a deployment, work with the regulars, see what it's about. And the opportunities to do that, just weren't available at that time, at that unit. They might be now, but in 2022, they just weren't. And I kind of waited out those 2 years, wanting things to come up, wanting deployments to come up, and they didn't. So I kind of felt as though if I really want to enhance myself as a soldier and really get that exposure and experience of the regular army, I'm just not going to be able to do it here. And going off that, because then I knew that I wanted to go regular, I knew that obviously if infantry wasn't going to be for me, I'd have to make a change in terms of trade anyway. So it would make sense to go to that reserve unit before going regular, see if I actually like it, rather than just go and commit, yeah, I'll go RMP regular, and I could do 6 months and be actually, this is so not what I thought it was, and I hate it. So really, I just wanted to transfer to the Army Reserves with the RMP, see if I liked it, see if I could get that more exposure, and then make the decision to go regular. And that's essentially what I did. It was more just a strategic career decision and doing what was right for me at that time, and obviously it's massively paid off. Why I chose the RMP specifically was because obviously I've got 2 degrees in law. I've got an undergrad degree and a master's degree, so it makes sense to kind of put them to a bit of use. And there's a lot of transferable skills from my degrees, interviewing, cross-examination, looking at evidence, the law generally, that I can use in the RMP. And then I worked with the police and the police commission at university, so working with the police was quite familiar, and kind of what they did was something that I already kind of knew about. So with the knowledge I already gained, it kind of made sense. But I think what sealed it for me was I spoke to a family friend who's in the RMP and basically grilled him about, okay, you've had a really long career. Can you be really honest with me and say the pros and the cons and what experiences I can have and what opportunities I can get and what a career could look like from someone that's gone and done it? And he was really, informative and really helpful in that sort of decision-making process. And I basically said, look, can I get driving qualifications? Can I go on deployments? Can I work with the regulars? Can I actually do this job role outside of like the 27 days that you need to do for the reserves? Like, is there more opportunity there? Like, can I just go and like really enhance myself as a soldier? And he was like, yeah. And obviously he's been right, because the last 2 years I've been deployed 3 times, done a bunch of courses, got qualifications, got driving like qualifications too. And like even just within a short span of time, I've done the same amount of time in the RMP as I've done in the Guards. Like the opportunities have been completely like different. Like there's been so much more going on, so much more available. But yeah, like the whole reason in a summary of why I transferred was I secretly knew I wanted to go regular, and I wanted to just like have a lot of experience and exposure to really confirm whether that decision was for me. And I knew I wasn't going to get it in the infantry, and I knew the infantry wasn't where I could see me doing 22 years. So I'm really glad that I transferred over to the RMP. I've loved the last 2 years. I've had so much opportunity, so much experiences, like to really learn the job, learn about the army, learn about the regular army, and it's like helped me in my decision to go regular. And obviously I'm regular now, so lol. It's definitely worked. So I hope this video offers you, I guess, an explanation of like why I transferred and the reasons behind it, and why I specifically chose the RMP. But if you have any questions obviously about the transfer process or the RMP or like my time in the infantry or any of that, like I'm happy to answer it in the comments below or make another video. Everyone that's asking me questions about it, here you go, there's the answer. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.